back, everybody, to another episode of Take Two Podcast, episode 285. 285 straight weeks bringing you Take Two Podcasts, all of your Hollywood news, TV, movie reviews, and my Take Two. We got a great show for you folks here today. We're going to be reviewing the Oscars. Full breakdown of everything that was from the red carpet till the final award and all the stuff that was in between. A very uneventful, very boring show. My goodness. Gonna save all of that talk for a little bit later. Two reviews that we have this week is Deep Water. I think Will Smith's in a little bit of Deep Water. Am I right? And The Lost City. Those would be the reviews for this week. And then we, of course, have the box office. We have casting news, DC Marvel, a new Rotten Tomato tragedy, if you would. This is going to be a multi-film Rotten Tomato tragedy, but you will find out why a little bit later on. And the big topic is the Oscars. The Oscars dropped 2022's Oscars, and man, was it a show. It was something wild. I'm going to get into my thoughts a little bit later, but just a quick preview. For all of the folks out there that got high and mighty, like, I'm not watching this. I'm not going to watch the Oscars. No, this isn't for me. I'm not watching that crap. Forget all Hollywood, all the liberal bliss, and blah, blah, blah. That's my MAGA impression, apparently. Either way, all sides of the ball, man. It wasn't even like a political thing. It was just like, pfft, the show's been... And us Oscar pundits, us award seasoning folks, I am one, guilty, that loves this stuff, loves it, for all of its warts, had no leg to stand on. You know, the shows have been not being great the last couple of years. They keep making massive mistake after massive mistake, and then all the promotion leading into this was like, hey, we're going to do this, and everybody's like, why? So anywho, but the people that said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to watch. I don't know what y'all watched, because the Rangers played at 5. That game was over, and the Tar Heels were already in the Final Four by the time the show started. That's right. The North Carolina Tar Heels were in the Final Four. Just wanted to repeat that. What were you folks watching? Nothing. There wasn't much anything, so you should just thrown it on for the hay of it. Any hoot. We would break down the entire Oscars. We would break down why people missed out, goods and bads. There were some great moments that we would be talking about later. I am rambling. Here's some things. If you guys want to hear or see more rambling or interact with the rambling, at Take Two Podcasts for Twitter, take2podcast@gmail.com, 667-365-8253. You can shoot an email. You can shoot a text message. You can leave a voicemail. You can follow the show on Instagram and on Twitter and even on Facebook. Would love to have you folks there. And of course, a rating and review would be fabulous. It's been a minute since we've gotten one, and I would enjoy it. It does help the show, help things out. Guys, and I feel like this has become like a weekly thing of me like thanking you listeners for continuing to listening to the show. And again, my name is Brian, episode 285, Take Two Podcast. Thank you for listening to the show, but I had a horrendous week last week. Just personal life busy. That's not a complaint, just a fact. And because of it, a lot of the social media stuff that goes hand in hand with our show, with podcasting and promotion, things of that nature, weren't there. And the numbers didn't reflect that. It's crazy. It's crazy. You guys are such loyal listeners, and I thank you very much. And if you don't mind, just drop me a quick note. Hey, I'm here with you. I'm listening, loving the show, either a text or an email, or if you know my number personally, because I can tell. And I was like, man, I was so busy. I wasn't able to do this and that and the usual fun stuff that we get to do. But hey, listen, we're back this week, baby. We're back. I am pot committed to getting us back on YouTube. We've had YouTube issues. We've had recording issues. Some things my fault, a lot of things, and other things just stuff you can't control, tech stuff, right? But we're back. I'm literally looking at our YouTube recording now. Hello, how are you? Hi, YouTube. Anywho, you can follow the show on YouTube as well to see some stuff and going forward. Episode 285, guys. Let's get rocking and rolling. Let's start things off as we always do with the box office. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. And I owe my girl, my boo, Sandy Bullock, an apology. I have been madly in love with this woman So, now we'll talk about it later. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it later. When we get to the Lost City review, we'll talk about that later. My love for Sandra Bullock. But what I fail to remember is how bankable of a star Sandy Bullock is. Now, throw in Brad Pitt, throw in Channing Tatum, of course, too. You've got 3 A-listers, if you will. Maybe 1 A- in there. But either way, these are celebrities that people want to see in movies, and this is a popular IP. People already wanted to know about this, and it looked funny, it looked catchy, it looked like one of Sandy's, The Proposal style rom-coms, and so apparently people wanted to see it. 4,200 theaters, They put this bad boy in, and it makes $31 million to win the weekend to knock Batman off of its perch. So Sandra Bullock defeats the Batman. Batman comes in at $20.5 million. Big drop, down 44%. It also, they dropped it into 3,900 theaters in its fourth week of release. That makes sense. And now the interesting number for the Batman going forward is it is soon coming to HBO Max. We're about 2 weeks away from that. So how many more of you folks are going to check this out in theaters before it comes to HBO Max? Once it does that, there's going to be a handful of folks that are just like, they'll watch it on HBO Max and they're like, oh my God, that was great. I bet I should have seen that in IMAX. And then they'll want to then go see it in the IMAX. So you'll get that influx the following weekend of some folks, but it's not going to be a ton because there's also the influx of people who are like, well, that was a 3-hour film, so I'm good. I saw it. I probably should have saw it in theaters when I had the chance, but oh well, so be it. RRR. I don't know if this is about railroads. I have no idea what this film is about. But $9 million, $9.5 million bucks, good for them. Opening weekend for them, 1,200 theaters, good for them. Uncharted drops to fourth place, $5 million, puts them over 130 domestically. Well done. That Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, the movie, second weekend of release, another 4.5 million bucks. And they added theaters too, over 2,400 theaters they added for that. So good for them. The movie X, again, added theaters to it, makes $2.2 million, another A24 product, well done there. That movie Dog, $2.1 million. Spider-Man No Way Home drops all the way down to 8th place, like trying to catch Gwen Stacy, but they couldn't. But what that does, this $2 million puts them over $800 million bucks domestically. And you know that's a number that they probably like 3-4 weeks ago circled, like, ooh, we got to stay in theaters just long enough to get that $800 million. And we also got to get it before we're fully out on VOD, which, again, that happens itself in 2 weeks. You can get digital now, but you can get Blu-ray and whatnot in 2 weeks. So you know the studio wanted to like try and hit that mark before that officially happens, because then everybody will be all done. 9th place, Sing 2, $1.2 million. That's a 160 overall, 14 weeks of release. Not bad at all, Sing 2. Well done, especially because you could VOD that as well. And then in 10th place, a new release, Infinite Storm from Bleecker Street Media Studio. I have never heard of Bleecker Street Studio. There you go, $750,000 for the 10th placer, Infinite Storm. Lost City is your victor. To the victor go the spoils. We will talk about going forward. Will Lost City retain their crown, or will somebody knock them off of their seat? Okay, we are all done with the box office. Let's roll right into our reviews. Let's lead off with Lost City, shall we? Let's lead off with Lost City. Sandy Bullock, Channing Tatum, Harry Potter. All right. You ever just get those? I get this all the time. I do it all the time. And I talk movies with you guys all the time, sports stuff all the time, whatever, and then there's times where I just get like a bubble in my head where I'm like, what the F is that dude's name? And can sit here and rattle off their entire IMDb list career. Like, oh, they were in this movie, that movie, that movie, and the characters they play in full. But I can't think of the gentleman's name. I did this today while watching this film. Excuse me, it wasn't today. With Daniel Radcliffe. For the life of me, I could not think of this dude's name. I was like, what the? It's Harry Potter. It's not Elijah Wood. I think it's Elijah. It's not Elijah Wood. That's wrong. Stop saying Elijah Wood. He's definitely not him. And until the end credits, when finally it said, Sandy, Channing, Brad Pitt, and then Daniel Radcliffe. I was like, there's that dented fender. Daniel Radcliffe. Holy crap. If anybody can pull what movie There's That Dented Fender is from, the trivia time. There you go. Grab that one. There's that dented fender. They just go round and round, round and round and round, round again. There's that dented. All right, there you go. There's your clue. There's that dented fender. Anywho, this movie's fine. It's not bad. It's not phenomenal. If it's on TBS on a Saturday afternoon while I'm vacuuming and doing some laundry, I'll leave it on. It's one of those, It's, there's Proposal, which I think a lot of people love. And then I was comparing it consistently to The Proposal with her, Ryan Reynolds, Betty White, R.I.P. This, it's of that realm. It's rom-com-y. They don't like each other. They're not supposed to be together. In the end, do they get together, etc. There's quirky things from each character between Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock's character. That's your premise here. I think the flaw in comparing it to a movie like The Proposal, the movie The Proposal has multiple memorable scenes. Them naked falling on top of each other. Her in the woods with Betty White, to the windows, to the walls. Multiple scenes that you can just be like, oh yeah, that movie's funny. Remember, it had this and this and this. This movie doesn't really have that. We don't have those scenes in this movie. Those little memorable, quirky, weird scenes. Maybe her pulling the leeches off of Channing Tatum's caboose. Maybe him helping her climb up a mountain by putting his head in between her caboose and like pushing with his head. That's it. There aren't any like super over the top funny scenes that at least you can fall back on those. Like, oh, the scene's coming up. That's funny. I can watch that. Right. I'm thinking the leeches off of his arse was the best, most memorable scene. She's a writer. She's written these raunchy novels, right? These romance novels or whatever. And Channing Tatum plays her Fabio. But there's more to him. He's more than just a good-looking guy, right? But she is this super intellect and doesn't want the time of day. She's also brokenhearted because her husband died 5+ years ago, and she's still to this day grieving. Don't blame her. My wife died. I'd probably be upset for a solid like 15-20 minutes. Really inconsolable. Then I'd move on, get another one. What movie's that from? Anywho, it's a very basic premise that you can just sit back on an afternoon with some popcorn or an evening where you got nothing and you're clicking through and you're like, oh, this movie's kind of cute. Like, it is that speed of a film, so it's not bad. They wind up, she writes a book that has an adventure going into the jungle to get this treasure, and that's it. And she fictionalizes it, but because she's so smart, she puts kind of some true things into her books about like ancient culture and whatnot. Daniel Radcliffe, super rich dude, he's into that, and he's like, you can translate this language for me that's in your book. I need you to now come to me with some remote location in the Atlantic and find this treasure. That's why they kidnap her. Kind of outlandish, what have you. It's supposed to be. It's kind of fun. Acting. Radcliffe I actually really enjoyed. I thought he actually played a decent villain here. A little smarmy little prick villain. The beard game was strong. I liked it. I liked it for Daniel Radcliffe. Tatum does a good job. You know, Tatum can do more. There was a scene in here where he's dancing. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, that dude can dance, right? And that dude does have these skills. And so his character is not supposed to give you a lot. You get a little bit of an arc by the end of it. But by the time you go through, you're just like, the guy's just a solid professional actor. And I don't know if we could have said that about Channing Tatum 10 years ago, right? Just kind of like a goober, couple of dance movies, incredible body, wowzers. Anywho, no. By the end of this film, you might be remembering, all right, the guy, I can put him in some other things. Now, let's challenge him with something stronger than this. I don't hope this is Channing Tatum's lane forever, because hopefully he does start to show more. Either way. Sandy. So, my first true love was Samantha Micelli, Alyssa Milano. That's when I was young. She was immediately replaced with Kelly Kapowski. And Kelly Kapowski for all time will be my number one. But as I grew older, Kelly Kapowski, she went on her way, 90210, whatever, which I wasn't allowed to watch at the time. I needed a replacement. Also, like, I'm becoming like a mid-teenager, right? So now my eyes are set on the older women, college women. And Sandy took over, man. Sandra Bullock, holy jumpins'. From Speed to The Net, whoa. And then Miss Congeniality, holy jumpins'. Like Teenage Brian, hello. 40-year-old Brian, hello. Anywho, and so my wife of all, you joke around about your celebrity five. She knows Sandy would probably be my first choice, and she's okay with it. That would be her first choice to just be like, you're good on you. Have a good night. Good luck trying to have that one. I got an in with Sandy though too. I think if I ever met her in real life, I'd be like, yo, you're from Virginia. I'm from Maryland. That's creepy that I know that. I'm pretty sure you were a cheerleader like 25 minutes away at your high school. I wasn't a cheerleader, but I went to high school. That segue didn't work. But either way, I think if I ever met her in the real life, like, I watch football. You dated a football player. Married? Did she marry Troy Aikman? No, I forget. Either way. Sandy's given us better. And she's been given stronger scripts. And this script just doesn't speak to doing a ton here. But at the end of the day, she's still Sandra Bullock. She still can give you that rom-com, give you that silliness, but then she can character arc it all the way around to give you a solid performance here. There just wasn't a lot for them to do. There wasn't a lot for them to work with. She plays her role great. She plays this shy little nerdy girl that, is down on life because she's heartbroken and she needs to kind of blossom. And you see that through her. You see her blossom. Also, she blossoms to a point where she finally drinks a beer and she's drinking a Dos Equis. I don't know. I'm wondering if Sandy in real life is a Dos Equis girl. Maybe. Possibly. Either way. I think, I don't want to say they were hamstrung by lack of a script because the movie's fine. It's fine. You're not going to hate it. It's not a bad rom-com. It's just there. And again, this is one of those movies. Once eventually it gets to Netflix or Prime or something like that, and you're sitting there on a Saturday evening, whatever. Cool. I don't think it's one of those movies where you're just like, oh, hey, Lost City, honey, you haven't seen it yet. Come on, let's watch this. This is a good one. I.e., Proposal. I.e., some of those other rom-coms that she does, Miss Congeniality, etc. So there, I enjoyed my time with it. I will never push play on it again. I would not see myself like running to the theater to see it again. If you want to see this movie, go do it. Go do it. It's fine. It's fun. It's cheesy. There's a solid 25 minutes you can take out of this film. God bless her, the actress. I don't know her name. Hang on. Divine Joy Randolph. She plays that number two friend great. She plays it great. She does a fantastic job. Her character was not needed whatsoever. Anytime they cut out of the jungle back to her character dealing with things back in America, it takes you out of the movie. You're just like, the lady is fine. She's funny. She's a solid actress. There's nothing wrong with what she did, but it just had nothing to do with anything. The Brad Pitt cameo turns into a cameo, which you're just like, wait, oh, okay, cool. I wasn't sure how much of this guy we were getting, and then look at how much of the guy we got. So anyway, but it was fun. I will say this: the post-credit scene, no. That was bad. That was bad. That was probably the worst part. The IMDb score on this thing is a little bit lower. I bet you it's because of that final scene. I 100% bet you. Also, Oscar Nunez dropping in here totally unexpectedly, and plays his role kind of funny. He's actually more the comic relief than Joy Randolph is. Either way, I liked The Lost City. It was fine. I don't want to deter you. If you want to see it, go do it. If you don't want to see it, I'm not talking you into it. Eventually, one day down the road, then watch it. Maybe. You guys ever get these calls from the scam likelies? When you get the call that now your phones can kind of regulate if it's probably a scam, then it just tells you, instead of it being a regular number, that it's scam likely. I always think it's like some like Trent Krim from The Independent, like scam likely is calling. Anyway, Lost City. I was just getting one of those. That's why I was distracted briefly. Not distracted at all. Fully focused. Episode 285 Take Two Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for subscribing. Let's move along to Deep Water. Okay. This movie was bad. This movie is not great. There's nothing else to say. It's on Hulu. It just dropped back on March 18th. This is Affleck and Ana de Armas. I think this is why they broke up. They made this movie, and then this movie got pushed and bumped, and it was supposed to go to theaters at one point, and then they said, no, we're just going to throw it on Hulu, and I know why. They are married. They are rich. Affleck is a tech developer, and so they have tons of monies. Ana de Armas plays his wife, and she is a wild woman. She likes to go out on the town, and she likes her men. Oh, yeah, that's right. Affleck, very chill dude, very confident type of guy, and very accepting that his wife likes to have boyfriends. The movie essentially opens up with them at a party and walking around, and then she sees this other guy, and she gets all fired up to go hang with that guy and not her husband. And then he looks out the window, and there they are smooching or just making out next to the poolside. And then she looks up, sees him, gives him like a little wink, and then they go inside. I don't know what this movie was supposed to do. Just give us a look into this weird couple's unique marriage where Affleck's character, Vic, is okay with his wife being wild and banging other dudes. The weirdness is it's in a small town, so everyone knows about it, and everyone's concerned about it because they're all soccer momming it up and what have you, and talking about it. But she's able to find plenty of customers, if you will, to hook up with. Now, here's the fun part. These boyfriends, they go missing. Why do they go missing? Does Ben Affleck kill them? Does he take care of them? Does he get rid of them? Does he talk them out of town? Or is it just a conspiracy theory and he's okay with his wife smooching around? It kind of turns him on. Because there are scenes in here where she smooches it up with another guy, comes home, they get in a big fight about it, and then woohoo, next thing you know, Ana de Armas is naked, and they're smooching it up on their own accord. So he gets off on it. So that's these characters. This weird movie about these characters where you don't know why they're in this type of a relationship. Whatever floats your thing. If that's what your couple is into, that's what your couple is into. I don't think I could talk my wife into having a boyfriend on the side. I think she would stress about it. I'm not interested myself, but I think that conversation would just stop where she'd be like, no, I'll pass. I'm too busy as it is, right? If it were up to my wife, if I said, hey, here's the option. You can go out with this other super handsome John Mayer guy or catch a nap. She'd be like, nap, please. That's it. Thanks. Have a great night. And I love my wife for that. There you go. Anywho, there are couples out here that are into this sort of thing. So don't judge the movie because of that. That's what they do. And this is why we watch movies like this, because this isn't your house. This isn't your relationship. This is something where you can lose yourself in a world of two people who are okay with this kind of sort of thing. But this is where they try and get you, because Ben Affleck's not okay with it. Is he killing all of these guys? And that's the mystery. The person who's most in on the mystery, trying to solve this murder spree that might be happening by Ben Affleck, Tracy Letts. Because when I see Tracy Letts, phenomenal actor, love Tracy Letts. But when I see Tracy Letts, I definitely think detective. I definitely think a guy next door, neighborhood watch, who's on top of things, trying to figure shit out, right? That's Tracy Letts. Anyway, number twos. Here we go again. Lil Rel Howery. If Lil Rel's entire acting career is known as the number two, not just comic relief, like next level, like he's funny, he is comic relief, but he's that great number two, I'm not mad at him, man, because he does it perfect. He does it great. And if he has already or decides to accept this is my role in Hollywood forever, that's great. Don't fight the typecast. Go make yourself a career. Cash in every single one of those paychecks and have a good life. And every single movie that you're in, you make better. And every single movie that you're in, you make me laugh. And I appreciate your performance. Some people fight that. And I know a lot of actors that don't like that. Like, well, okay, I'll play the number two this round, but I need to be a lead the next. I need to be a lead the next. And I mean, I know some folks personally that feel that way. And maybe that's not your life. That's not your role. Sometimes you're just destined to have acting roles in the background where you don't have any lines. So anyway, this movie's not great. It's just boring. It's just boring. That's it. That's the bottom line. There are moments where, things are hot and steamy. Of course, those scenes are like, wow, okay, this is fun. But where are we going here? And is Affleck's character okay with DeArmas and her nonsense? And to be honest, I think what takes you out of the film is she's so over the top. She's so crazy. Like, there's a lot of her character that is just out there. That you're like, come on, lady. What the crap? What are we doing here, Harry? You got a kid. You got a great home. Are you that horned up that you need these other boys? Plus, you got Ben Affleck. He's not a bad-looking guy. I think at one point in life, he was like people's number one celebrity, sexiest man alive or something. And he just got done working out to be Batman, so he's ripped. I don't know. Some of that just didn't hold water for me. And that's my review of Deepwater. Thanks. I'll be here all week. Anyways, guys, if you want to watch this, it's on Hulu if you want to. If you want to see some steamy scenes with DeArmas and Affleck, okay. But I do not recommend watching Deepwater. That's it for the reviews. We're all done with the reviews. Now let's move right along to the casting couch, shall we? Oh, casting couch, oh, the casting couch. The Oscars. See, this is what I love about Take Two podcasts. This is the casting couch. This is where we announce people are going to be in films down the road. Further down the road is the Oscars and award season. So this casting, some of these names I'm about to say, 2 years from now, folks, we might be saying these names again. And you can circle back and you'll say, hey, remember on episode 285 when you announced that casting? And now they're winning an award. Wow. Just wow. So cool. Christina Ricci, best known for her role. Ooh. That's not the sentence I meant to say, but now I'm pondering, what is Christina Ricci best known for? What role? It might still be the answer, Addams Family. I meant to say broke out onto the scene with her portrayal of Wednesday in the Addams Family movies. But she's got to be better known for other things after that, right? Casper? Maybe? Anything? Either way, she's back, baby. They've got that Wednesday show that's a series that's coming. She's going to be back on it. When they announced that they were doing this Wednesday series, the series is called Wednesday. It's in the Addams Family universe. I thought for sure Ricci should be cast as Morticia. Have her play the mom at this point. But it says it is still unknown what actual character she's playing. But either way, you got to wreck him. And that's great. That probably should have been priority number one. It could have been for them, and we're just finding out about it now. A Man Called Otto, based off of A Man Called Ove, and then there was a satire play after that called A Man Called Otto that has been on stage, I believe, in Broadway. Don't quote me on that one. But we have cast Cameron Britton, Mike Birbiglia, and Tom Hanks. Hello. More to that on as it develops. Ordinary Angels movie that's coming soon. Hilary Swank and Alan Ritchson. That's the guy that's in Reacher that we reviewed positively on there. And I'm intrigued in here because, like I said with my review in Reacher, Alan Ritchson doesn't give you a lot in Reacher, but I think that's him acting. And I don't think a lot of people who haven't seen him in anything else realize that. They think he's just some wooden, good-looking, tough dude and can't act. But if you see him in Titans, you'll realize, oh, no, that's him putting on a performance there in Reacher. So, give me something new here, Alan. Show us that you can do more, and you're more than just a pretty face and muscles. And I have faith that he is going to. Of course, Hilary Swank. She's an Oscar winner. She's fantastic. Chucky, season 2. Guess who's back, baby? Jennifer Tilly. That's awesome. I saw this on her social media. She's like, I'm back. Super happy to be back. That's awesome. Congrats. And then lastly, a movie called Being Mortal has Seth Rogen and Bill Murray. And this is Aziz Ansari's first directorial debut. That's it. It's his first directorial debut. Yeah. Not his last directorial debut. Just his first one. We're just going to stick with that sentence. And that is going to be our casting couch. Now it's time for Rotten Tomato Tragedies. So, Rotten Tomato Tragedies are brought to you by Will Smith. Will Smith, we're going to be talking a lot about this gentleman in a minute, but I mean, if you guys don't know what happened with Will Smith, or by now, it's Tuesday. The Oscars were Sunday night. I mean, they were talking about Will Smith on SportsCenter the next morning and on Get Up on ESPN. And as I'm flipping through, even everyone was talking about Chris Rock, Will Smith. So, I have a couple of films for you guys for Will Smith in Rotten Tomato Tragedies, and you just stop me when I get to a movie that you absolutely adore. Wild Wild West. I'm going straight to the Wild Wild West. We're going straight. Come on now. Wild Wild West. Granted, Wild Wild West is more of a guilty pleasure type movie. It's not great, but 16%? Really? That's a bit low, don't you think? That's a bit low. Kevin Kline and Chaps? Come on now. Hey-o. Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys, what you gonna do? Does every Will Smith movie have a song that I can sing along to? Oh, please, God. Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys. Bad Boys, what you gonna do? Sorry. Bad Boys 2, 23%, and Bad Boys, 42%. Really? I mean, I like the Bad Boy movies. I think they're solid. They're not 23 and 42% low. And there are some folks out there that love the Bad Boy movies. Like, love them. 23% for Bad Boys 2? Get out of here. Lastly, the biggest tragedy of these Rotten Tomato scores. When you put in such pizzazz, such star power as De Niro, Will Smith, Zellweger, Scorsese, you put all of these people into one film together and you only get 35% for Shark Tale? Kiss my bumper, baby. Shark Tale. Only 35%. That's ridiculous. That's also your Rotten Tomato Tragedy for the week, brought to you by Will Smith. Moving right along to the Hollywood news. All right, Hollywood news. We're going to do the Oscars in a second. We have a couple of quick things. I just announced that Gina Davis was going to be in the CBS legal drama, and she's out. She dropped that quickly. Something went down, scheduling something. Once we get some more details, we will share them. But see, she is out. Whom are we replacing Gina Davis with for a CBS legal drama? Marcia Gay Harden, which I already thought she was in every CBS legal drama there is, but they got her for this one. So there you go. Acting-wise, not a bad replacement, but I was bummed because I like Gina Davis. Anyway, Friday, the movie Friday is getting a prequel. Vince Staples and Drewski. Drewski or Drewski? Pass me a Drewski. Or is it Drusky? I don't know. I apologize. Mr. Drewski. Drewski. Could be Drewski. I bet you it's Drewski. Anywho, they're going to be starring in this Friday prequel, which would be called Thursday. My God, they get worse. They do. The jokes get... You guys know. You've been listening. They get worse. All right, to the Oscars. All right, before we break down the winners and the losers and the losers and the winners, we're gonna go roll by roll. We're gonna go category by category here, and break down everything that is and that was the Oscars. But first, red seemed to be the theme. I missed the red carpet itself, but I went back and kind of went over. A lot of the outfits seem to be red. There's some theming of red with the Oscars just in general. A lot of Simu Liu, full head to toe red. Very nice, sharp looking suit. Tracy Ellis Ross had some red. I will say this. Ladies, that's a lot of confidence you've got to have in some of those dresses to hold your bosoms. Like, is it tape that holds the dress to your bosoms? Because like Tracy Ellis Ross, who else was it? I think Venus, like a couple of ladies came out, and it's like, what's holding that thing in there? Like, how is it? I don't know. I've never owned a pair of boobs, so I don't know how much flopping they actually do. But there's a lot of confidence or a lot of tape. It's got to be tape, right? I don't know how big my female listener fan base is. They all just left if I had any. But is that exactly what's holding those dresses on or whatever? Either way, confidence is what they exuded there on the red carpet. Here's some disappointing things. All right, the weird thing was the in memoriam segment was very upbeat, very can't wait to get to heaven. Thank you for being a friend. Everybody, so I liked some of the interludes where people came in and gave like an extra sentence or two about a couple of the people who have passed away. I kind of like that. You walk the fine line of all right, we're going to do Betty White, but we're not going to do Mario Van Peebles. Like, how do you walk that line? That's a great example. But so I think that you're walking a risky path down the road of that. But it was a good segue into a new song, into a different element of the in memoriam. But it was weird because you had singers, you had dancers, you had a chorus, and I get it. You want to do a celebration of life, and I feel that way. When I die, I don't want people crying. I want a celebration of life. I want people to be like upbeat and happy, like not happy he's gone, but like happy he was here type thing, right? So I get that aspect of it, but it just felt weird. Also, Bob Saget omitted. No Bob Saget in the in memoriam section, from what I could tell. The Governor Awards, they gave them out the night before instead as normal, but then there's a couple of the honorary Oscars. Sam Jackson gets a Lifetime Achievement Award, and we don't get to see that. And that was on social media the day before. And him and Denzel on stage and the presentation, it was phenomenal. But we didn't get to see that on the Oscars. It's something that they cut. The seven categories that they wound up cutting, they showed us the noms. They showed us them do their acceptance. We didn't get to see them walk up on stage. There wasn't as big pizzazz. They edited it all down to try and trim it. It was just the way they shoehorned it in. It was almost like it wasn't pre-recorded. So now all you did to these people was a disservice of getting the applause or the big ovation from the room, whereas they now need to give their speeches and whatnot in front of not as many people. People still coming in for the red carpet. Moving parts are still happening. So you just feel bad for those people. I went on a big, huge rant earlier about why that shouldn't have happened. I feel the production of it, of putting them in where they did, felt better. It wasn't as over the top of, these are awards that we decided not to show you. But, I don't know. We'll see going forward. Also, the show still ran super long. Why did it run long? We'll talk about that in a hot sec. But it still ran longer than last year's show. So you tried to edit it down. It didn't work. Here's something that you could have gotten rid of. We don't talk about Bruno. A, not a nominated song. Why are you playing it? B, that version that you gave sucked. It was longer. It was slower. It was not exciting. We checked out. My entire party was like, oh. And my wife and I, we were like ready to dance. Our kids have been listening to this stuff nonstop. Like, all right, we don't talk about Bruno. But I didn't enjoy the version of it. And so I know multiple parties are like, all right, let me go grab a drink. I'm going to go grab some more Doritos with chilies on them. I'll be right back because this is boring. This is dumb. So that didn't need to be part of the show. Why did you have that in the show? And why did you also put it in the middle? That was weird. Like, that whole section of it was very weird. That was a choice that was not done well. I missed the opening monologues. I went back and rewatched them. I thought it was fine. Some of the jokes were okay. You knew the Florida gay joke was coming. I didn't think Schumer and Regina sold it as well. Once Sykes propped it up, then they could have rehearsed that part better. Regina with her sexual assaults of every man on stage, I get it, and I didn't want to be that grumpy white guy that's just like, well, if that was a dude doing that to women, it'd be wrong. It would be wrong. That would be dumb, and you would never do that anymore. We've done that in the past, and it was god awful. So that's why you wouldn't do it. But let's not go down that road of the double standard, because it was funny, but it went on way too long. And her just calling a bunch of dudes up on the stage, it's like, all right, these gentlemen are good looking, haha. But then she feels up Josh Brolin and feels up Jason Momoa for like an hour. Like a pat down would have been funny. Pat down, whoop, goosed him on the caboose. Funny. But like, she felt the guy, poor Josh Brolin, he probably had to tip her afterwards. It's like, holy cow. So that joke kind of went a little bit long. I thought the the most honest moment from the host of the night was when Schumer came out after Will Smith and everything happened, and she was like, "Hey, I was trying to get out of that Spider-Man suit. Did I miss anything?" That part of being an Oscar host, you need to be off the cuff and you need to be able to pivot, and she did that very well. So that was the best part that the host, I think, host did for the evening. Lost in the shuffle that people won't be talking about, disappointingly so, is Coda. Coda, my number one movie of the year last year. Absolutely adored it. The moment I watched the movie, I fell madly in love with it and said going forward, I love this movie. I want to win the Oscar. The minute I watched it, I made other people watch it. They agreed that they loved it. On rewatches, I loved it, and I wanted it so badly to win Best Picture. And we'll get to when it wins, talking about that. But with that, the speeches from Troy Kotsur and Coda, and I know I just spoiled for if you guys are listening that they win. When they walked on stage and the entire crowd did the hands up instead of clapping, and they did the applause with the shaking of the hands, right? I mean, it got me, man. It literally got me. And I was like, God, could you imagine? Could you imagine being these people in this moment? And just the support from that entire community. Just the support from Hollywood for that when you saw the entire crowd, all of these A-list celebs up there, all these big-time studio heads, tons of money in that room, supporting you and doing it in your culture, in your, because the deaf community, and not applauding, but doing the hand shaking, which symbols applauding. I'm saying the words wrong. You know what I mean? That was a beautiful, absolutely beautiful moment twice last night that will be overlooked today because of the other nonsense that went down. Should we go over the nonsense or should we do the winners? Let's do the nonsense. All right, Will Smith slaps Chris Rock. At first, all right, so Chris Rock comes out, and when he came out, I even said, oh, former Oscar host, he's probably going to do a couple of jokes. And he does. He gives a mini monologue real quick, which is fine. But also, you've got 3 hosts. You have 3 other women. They're the ones supposed to be doing this. And Rock gives 5 jokes. One of said jokes was at Jada Pinkett's expense. Now, he makes fun of her haircut, G.I. Jane 2. It's not a haircut. She has alopecia. She's losing her hair. And apparently Chris Rock knew this. And so this really upset Jada. It didn't upset Will at first. If you watch, he laughed. He thought the joke was funny at first. It's not that great of a joke in the first place. But either way, he laughs. Now, it could have been a nervous, laughing it off. Let's just move along. He could have been straight up nervous laughing. Thinking Jada ain't gonna like that. But then he obviously had to have looked over because she gave Chris Rock a look and she had to have given Will a look. So then Will decides, I'm going to go up on stage and I'm going to slap him. And I'm going to slap this man. He does. He slaps him, walks back, sits back on stage. Chris Rock's like, wow, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. And Will Smith's, that's right. Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. So then Chris Rock was like, dude, it was a G.I. Jane joke. Which, to Chris Rock's credit, even he's like, it wasn't even a great joke. Pump the brakes. Which, to that credit, then it's like, Chris, then why'd you even make the joke? If you knew it was going to be bad, you knew this lady don't like you, you already got bad blood, and then it's a hair thing, a disease. Anywho, whatever. That happened, and then Will Smith gets loud. Keep her out of your effing and yells. Which is wild, because I thought Will Smith didn't have to rap to sell record. No, I thought Will Smith didn't cuss in his rap. Eminem, I'm sorry I failed you. Anyway, Will Smith is an anti-profanity guy, right? Not there, not in that minute. He was fired up. So the whole world reacts. Immediately when we first saw it, I was thinking, was that real? To me, it looked like the slap was fake, part of the joke, right? Why would Will Smith walk on stage? Chris Rock is laughing. Haha, boom. But then as he walks away, they edit, and I was thinking, uh-oh, did Chris Rock double down? Did he slap him? And then Chris Rock made a joke about Jada being with other men? Because that was a hot topic for the last year, about Jada and their open relationship that Will and Jada had. So maybe Will was not thrilled that then Chris doubled down on the joke there. I was wrong. That's not what happened. He was just wrong. He was just mad from the start. Now, credit to Chris Rock in this scenario. Credit to Chris Rock. A, he takes the punch, takes the slap. Who slaps? Really? What are we? In medieval times? I slap you with my glove. Takes the slap like a champ, right? Because Will Smith is literally twice his size. And you see, as Chris Rock, if you rewatch it, as he gets slapped, his hands come fist. He comes ready to swing back. So Chris Rock got some dog in him. Good on him. He also never once touches his face, puts his hands behind his back, never rubs his jaw, never nothing, right? So the cojones on Chris Rock, commendable. Also, he tries to save face, pun not intended, but intended, by then like telling Will like, dude, calm down, didn't mean it, too far. Nope, Will double down again. Then Rock's like, all right, let me try and make an awkward joke. Let me segue it back. We're here to give out a documentary. No, we're not. We're here to give out an Oscar. And then he still does his 2 jokes. He had 2 jokes already pre-written about the doc. And I feel so bad for him because he nailed those 2 jokes. And the audience is like, like nervous, freaking laughing. Like, what the just happened? And you're still up here making jokes, and I bet you he couldn't get off stage fast enough. He's like, are you kidding? Like, did this all just happen? And then they present the award for Best Documentary. Holy cow. Insane. Absolutely insane scenario. The whole thing that played out. We will circle back to Will Smith later, and my thoughts on whether he won or lost Best Actor, and then apologies that went on. Just nuts, right? Just nuts. And so the ABC execs, all the Oscar people have had to have been cheering in the background. You've got to be kidding me. We can't get ratings to save our life. We can't pay people to watch this. And here, look at this. Look at what just happened. After we royally screwed up last year, royally effed up last year. Thank you, Will Smith. Thank you, Chris Rock. Everyone, sports shows, regular news, entertainment news, you name it, they're all talking about it. There's a war going on across the pond. Everyone's talking about one dude slapping another dude. Thank you. I mean, just in the back of their heads, it's like, yes. Now, did it discredit your product? Did it water down your product? Make you a little Golden Globey? A little kind of like, ugh, this is the level of class that we have here? I thought we were the Oscars. No? Right? But either way, they had to have been like, thank you. Hashtag Oscars. I know I tweeted like 50 tweets. I'm sure many people tweeted more. So I'm sure the Academy in a dark room right now is like, yes, thank you. Yes, ratings. Woohoo. But to the next note, I mean, how can Will Smith just walk on stage and assault another man and then just sit down and giggle about it? And then later on, we talk about it some more. Oh, it's okay because Denzel and Tyler Perry took him to the side to calm him down and bring him down because he was upset. And so we're just going to ignore the fact that. So I did see other comedians like put out there like, lesson learned here, if you're a comedian and you tell a joke, it's okay for the audience to now walk on stage and hit you if they didn't appreciate your joke. And that's not okay. That's where we're not okay with any of this. Chris Rock made a really bad joke. It was bad, it was poor timed, it was dumb. But that did not give Will Smith any right to now walk up on stage and assault him. Now, we found out since that Chris Rock is not going to press charges. Maybe, whatever. That would be even worse. Apparently, they mended things afterwards. Puff Daddy got in between, peacemakered it. We're good to go. Apparently. We shall see. We will talk about Will Smith a little bit later on as far as apologies and how they go, and I'm going to save that for a little bit later. But just insane, an insane turn of events that happened. All right, to the winners and losers. Let's move on to the winners and losers. I'm sure I'm going to remember a part of this in a second that it's like, oh, I should have remembered that section. All right, going to go kind of in order here that they were presented, if you will. Best Actress in Supporting Role, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. Rock on. She's who won. I will tell you, I got to my Oscar party just after this was announced. I had just missed this, and that's my level of lateness that I was because I had something else, an awards banquet that I had to go to. And I walk in, and my dad's like, "You won't believe it. Judi Dench just won Supporting Actress." And I bought it. I bought it hook and line. I was like, "What? Are you kidding?" And my sister and wife tried to play along as best they could. And they're like, "Yep. Can you believe that?" And I was like, "I can't believe that. That's Upset City." And then they all start giggling. They tricked me, those tricksters. Anywho, DeBose is your winner for West Side Story. Well deserved. That was my choice there. Best sound winner goes to Dune. Best cinematography goes to Dune. Dune 2 in a row. Could they get Best Picture? Maybe. Documentary short subject. The Queen of Basketball. This was another kind of easy choice. Visual effects. Dune gets your win, but it has some good competition here, and I can understand why people might have lost this category because Spider-Man was the only nom here. Could they have gotten away with that one? No. Shang-Chi, phenomenal visual effects. No Time to Die even. Free Guy even. These were all phenomenal deserving winners, but Dune gets the win. Dune with 3 now. Leading into that Best Picture win category. Animated feature, I really wanted Mitchell's vs. Machines, but Encanto was the heavy favorite, and it winds up pulling it out. Best short film animated goes to Windshield Wiper. Actor in a supporting role, Troy Kotzer for Coda. The presentation, first of all, was glorious, and you could see how real this moment for this gentleman. He didn't tear up, but there were tears in his eyes, and there were tears in everybody else's eyes as he got up there and signed his absolute love for his craft. He thanked everyone that just let him try and be an actor, despite all odds, and the amount of people that could have easily just like, nah, dude, you deaf, get lost, but didn't, and allowed him to get better at it and work on it, and then be a part of this incredible film. And then just to be recognized was great. I was shocked. I thought this was Cody Smith McPhee's to lose, and he did. Maybe Jesse Plemons being in the category canceled out some in here. And, JK and Kieran Hines, I don't know if either of them should have been even nommed. So Troy grabs this win, and well-deserved. The speech was phenomenal. And again, everyone shaking their hands instead of clapping as he walked up on stage. Holy cow. If I were him, I would have lost it. If I got on that stage, held my Oscar, turned around, and saw this entire entire theater of people doing that for me, literally for me, I probably would have lost it. I don't know how that man stood up there. Good on him, and congratulations to him. Okay, international feature film, Drive My Car from Japan. Short film, live action goes to The Long Goodbye. Costume design, I thought this one was a no-brainer, but apparently a lot of people were split down the middle of this one. But this is Jenny Beavan from Cruella. Probably the worst speech of the night. Very awkward. She got up there and talked about what she was wearing, but broke it down garment by garment. All right, I get it. It's costume design, what have you. Also, her hairdo, the same hairdo as Cruella's. So I think she was just look at me. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. And anywho. Original screenplay, a little bit of an upset here. Happy to see it. Belfast, Kenneth Branagh, well done. Gets your best writing screenplay. Adapted screenplay, then goes to Sean Heder for Coda. Now it's kind of all right, so that's 3 tech awards to Dune. Screenplay goes to Coda. What are we going to get for that best picture? We're not sure. Original score, Dune. Interesting. Editing, Dune. Interesting. All right, doc feature goes to Summer Soul. Great movie. Chatted about this on the show a long time ago. Production design, Dune again. At this point, I'm sitting with my Oscar party, and I'm just Dune's grabbing these tech awards, man. So it's either going to Mad Max it and just get these techs and say, hey, you're good to go, thanks. Or these are precursors to what's going to happen later, right? Best, what are we at? Production design, Dune. Music, original song, No Time to Die. Billie Eilish, the first person born in the 21st century to win an Oscar. Wow. So now she has Oscar and Grammy, 2 away from an EGOT. Plenty of time to get that. I will say the songs this year, very slow. Not great. Kind of boring songs. Nothing catchy or whatever. Anywho. Now, Best Director, Jane Campion, Power of the Dog. This is kind of an obvious win, a deserved win, because everything she put together was absolutely fantastic. I was rooting for Spielberg for no reason, just because he's my favorite director of all time, but Campion well-deserved of winning here. Listen, I've been on here. Power of the Dog is a boring movie. It is not fun to watch, but it is a well-made, well-scripted, well-acted film. It is a technically sound movie, and Jane Campion is the head of that. She did a fantastic job putting that movie together. It's just boring. It's just a boring film. So I'm glad results later on in the show fell the way they did. All right, actor in a leading role. This is where it got weird, because 10 minutes prior to this being dropped, Will Smith slapped, what's the guy's name? Chris Rock in the face. Now he wins for King Richard. I mean, this had to have been multiple conversations in the truck for the production of the Oscar people. What do we do? He's going to get up there. I mean, do we have LAPD just walk out on stage and arrest him in front of everybody? Could we go nuts here? What is about to happen? This is insane. But he wins. He was the heavy favorite. I wanted Andrew Garfield to sneak in there. Thought Denzel might have had a chance, but it was also kind of a passing of the torch type thing of Denzel to Will, which is weird to say because Will's late 40s, whatever. And this felt a little lifetime achievement-y for him, but well deserved. His speech. you could tell that it was heartfelt. You could tell that it was true what he was saying, and he was very emotional, very emotional. I mean, he just was driven to hitting another man because of the words from the other man about his wife. So he was in his feelings. He says, I am here, put here by God to try and be a beacon of love and a beacon of peace and, try and set an example. And it was just so like, you just punched the dude. What are you talking about here, Harry? What? And you could see what he was trying to say, but then he goes the realm of, I have learned in the past year plus what it is to protect. And Richard Williams, he wanted to protect his family at all costs, protect his daughters at all costs. So I get where his head was and what his explanation was trying to be, where I am the man of the family, I'm the protector here. And that's not a chauvinistic thing. That's a thing that men should feel. My job on this earth is to protect my children and allow them to live and survive in this environment, whatever it may be. So I get that. I get where his head was trying to go with that apology. He apologizes. He literally says, I apologize to the Academy, everybody in this room. Does not say Chris Rock's name. Did he need to? Maybe. I don't know. I get where he was trying to be remorseful in his speech, but it still just came off a little like, buddy, you just walked up and slapped a man, and now your reasoning is because you need to be the protector. Well, I get it. You want to protect your wife, but they were words, dude. They were words that were wrong, and everybody understood they were wrong from a comedian. I don't know. And so on live TV, you felt you could just go knock him out, and you didn't, by the way. You slapped, by the way. Either way, I appreciated Will's speech. I appreciate what he was trying to say. Part of it did come off as, well, buddy, I don't know what to tell you, man. You still made that decision. And I also felt he wasn't apologizing for getting caught type thing. He was apologizing for his act to a degree. I don't know. It still came off a little... It came off genuine. It was very genuine, but I just don't know if I fully bought the reasoning of it. I get it. I understand it. I see what he was trying to say. Now here's to the Oscars. We were now deprived of a speech praising Richard Williams and praising Venus and Serena and praising the production of this film and praising the people around him. He did mention Anjanelle Ellis, but in that he talked about how he needed to protect her as an actress. I don't know, kind of made it about him where it was like, buddy, I really wish you just gotten up there and just straight apologized. Just to, like, I just effed up. I'm sorry. Here's why I did it. I am a protector of my family. This has been a year coming, and this man has said words about my wife in the past, and I am nothing more than a protector of this house, and I just let that emotion just get the best of me, and I can't believe I did that. End sentence. Now, tell me about the character and all that. I don't know. Maybe some people loved it. Maybe some people bought the speech and the apology that he gave. It teetered for me. All right, moving along. Makeup and hairstyling. The winner goes to Isa Tammy Faye. To me, this win here wasn't completely just for Jessica Chastain's transformation. This was because Andrew Garfield was made to look chubby, which I thought was fantastic, and you couldn't even tell. Actress in a leading role, Jess Chastain, Isa Tammy Faye. I would have liked Coleman just because of her speeches are great. The odds on Penelope Cruz went from like 250 to 1 to like 75 to 1 day of. I was like, uh-oh, why did that happen? Like something drastic. And so I was like, uh-oh. So I wound up switching my vote from Jess to Penelope, and I shouldn't have. I think Kristen Stewart screwed herself with all of her comments about the Academy. I just think she wasn't going to win. And then Kippen, whatever, what have you. And now that brings us to the best picture. It was a two-dog race, in my opinion, from the get-go. I think Belfast made a strong push towards the end, coming up here. But then as the night grew on, the precursors are like, Dune picked up that one. Dune picked up that one. Those are usually precursors to who's going to win Best Picture. Outside of Sean Heder getting a screenplay, getting the writing. A lot of things were pointing towards Dune, so it's kind of like, uh-oh, is Dune going to sneak in here and grab this? But there was an audible cheer, a out loud, happy cheer in my home from everyone when they said Coda. I mean, just enamored. Everyone. Just victory. Just, I can't believe it. absolutely. This is one of, I can't remember the last time, well, La La Land's the answer, where, like, I wanted Shape of Water to win, but I wasn't that enthralled with it. Like, I liked that movie, and that's the one I wanted to win out of that, and it won. Woo! La La Land was the last movie that I absolutely loved, absolutely wanted to win, was fighting for, championing for. They said La La Land. We all know how that went down. Today was even better. Like, when they said Coda, it was just like, and I, like, personally, not to backpat here, but, like, I know I was early on Coda, so if any of you listeners got aboard Coda because of me, thank you. Like, that's fantastic. I love it that hopefully you guys got out of Coda what I did, and because of the show. But when it won, and my mom said so afterwards, my mom even turned, she was like, I remember, excuse me, getting choked up here. I remember when you kids told me I should be watching this movie about a girl whose parents are deaf. And I was like, why? Why am I watching this? And, you know, we're very big on just do it. We're very big on whenever we recommend the films, like, I promise you, just watch it, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So, Coda is your winner for the night, your Best Picture winner. It won't be talked about. It'll get ignored, which is a darn shame because of the Will Smith controversy and the nonsense that happened. But Coda, I'm so happy. I am sprinting to try and buy this on physical media because, as you guys probably know, that's the only physical media I still own. Is that's a lie, but every Best Picture winner, I still have all those, and the complete season of Sopranos and the complete season of Smallville. All right, so I still have some small, but the only physical media I continue to purchase, we'll say that, is the Best Picture winners, and I can't wait to add Coda to the collection. All right, that's going to wrap up the Oscars. That's going to wrap up the Hollywood news. Let's wrap up the show. Come on, let's get things moving here, folks. What are you guys doing here? Just jib-jabbing around. How about some DC discussion? Long segment there. Apologies there. But, all right, DC, not a lot here. Blackhawks. Steven Spielberg is directing this. It's moving. Things are moving along. Things are getting going. This has been in the works for quite a while, and we got to report that things are happening. Got the money. Wow, that was rude. Anywho, so we can expect to get some more out of that Blackhawks product that they're making through DC. And then the other thing is Blue Beetle has been, like, rounding out their cast. Zolo Maradueno, Bruno Marquezine, yeah. Anyway, Bruno Marquezine, and then Harvey Guillen have all been added to the cast for Blue Beetle. And then, I had to mention with the Oscars there, that fan favorite segment, which was, I don't even know which, it was like fan favorite, and then gave you a top 5, but it never was super specific as to what the fan favorite moment, fan favorite one-liner, fan favorite, I don't know, prosthetic penis scene, which we'll get that next year from Pam and Tommy, thank you. And the Emmys. Please don't yell at me there. Any hoot, it was very confusing, but Zack Snyder's Justice League defeats Spider-Man No Way Home and defeats Avengers, which was the other thing. Like, this isn't fan favorite from this year, because it was from movies I don't know what it was, but the bottom line was Zack Snyder's Justice League won whatever that was. So, of course, Restore the Snyderverse is trending all over again. All right, Marvel Minute. Morbius, we'll be talking about more about Morbius. More Morbius. We'll be talking Morbius later. They said that the Vulture that's in this Morbius is the same Vulture from Spider-Man. Michael Keaton playing the Vulture. So it is in that same universe. Ooh, we shall see. Because Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to change it all up in a couple of months. Anywho, Wakanda Forever has finally wrapped. Remember that production got delayed because Letitia Wright got injured. And then it got delayed again because of COVID issues. They finally wrapped. They're all done. So looking forward to once that finally goes. The new Halo show is out. There's Sir Pablo Schreiber is in there. Forgive me, I don't watch that show, so I'm not familiar with the gentleman. I saw a picture of him. He does look like Wolverine, and he has leaked that there might be talks of him playing Wolverine in the MCU. All right, we shall see. Multiverse of Madness is coming soon. Speaking of, we got a runtime for Multiverse of Madness, 2 hours and 28 minutes, 148 minutes long. Kind of expected. Because I kind of expected there's going to be a lot in this film. We're dealing with multi-dimensions. We're going to deal with a butt ton of characters coming in. Like, all those little fun nostalgia things that Spider-Man gave us, No Way Home. Now it's, like, going to be taken to the next degree. Plus, he has to go interact with Wanda. Wanda's going to have her own thing going on there. Are we fighting against Wanda? Is she on our side? Both. there's going to be a lot. So, to be honest, under 2.5 almost sounds short for what might all be going on in this movie. I'm glad, you know me, I love a shorter film, but I think there's going to be a lot packed into that 228. So I'm kind of encouraged by that run time. I don't think I've ever heard a 2.5 hour film that I was like, yes, woohoo! Marvel Minutes all done. Time to go forward. Okay, thank you for sticking with the show. Look at that, hit the hour mark. That's for that lengthy Oscar stuff. If Will Smith didn't slap Chris Rock, you guys would be done listening to me by now. You're welcome, or blame them. Going forward, in theaters this weekend, you've got The Contractor. This is Chris Pine, Ben Foster movie, limited edition, limited release theaters, so check your listings if that's something that interests you. But then the wide release is Morbius. Morbius is your big one, kind of your only one. So, box office looking forward, you've got Morbius. It's getting terrible reviews so far. I plan on seeing it. It will be a review next week. Because, weirdly enough, it looks bad, but it also has me intrigued. There's parts of it that I kind of want to know what happens. And I'm still in the pro-Jared Leto camp, which I know a lot of people have fallen off of. Either way, I am interested in seeing it in episode 286. We should have a review there of Morbius, amongst other things. Morbius, Lost City, Batman. Morbius, Lost City, Batman. Morbius, Lost City, Batman. Oh, man, this is a toughie. I'm going to take Lost City to hold her number one spot for the box office next week. I'm going to keep Lost City. Morbius at number 2. Man, but it's a Marvel. It's a, technically, you have that contingent of folks. How bad are these reviews going to be the rest of this week? Like pushing people away from this film. Lost City only made $31 million. Next week, let's say it comes down to like 22. Now, Morbius has to do more than that. Oh, that would be an epic flop. Never mind. I take it all back. Morbius is going to win. Lost City number 2. Batman comes in third. Yeah. Because there's no way more. Because Lost City is not going to make more than they made last week. They're not going to make more than $30 million. They're going to come down. And Morbius has got to make more than $30 million. Oh my God. What an epic flop if it makes less than $30 million. Oh, but the reviews are bad from what I've seen so far. Like, there's a reason they kept pushing this thing down the road. And now I think they're at the point where they're just like, let's get it over with. Because whatever's in this movie has to happen before Doctor Strange, apparently. So, Disney Plus, Moon Knight drops on the 30th. That's Wednesday night. You get Moon Knight. Start checking that out. Once that thing's all done, wrapped up in a couple of weeks, we'll have a full review there. I'm intrigued where we're going here. This is definitely a different phase of Marvel here. We're leading into this. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Moon Knight, the end of Eternals, Blade, things like this, darker stuff is coming into Marvel, and more head mind effing type things, and that's what Moon Knight's going to be about. So I'm very intrigued with where we go there. So that's what we're looking at. Morbius, Moon Knight, those are probably going to be your reviews for episode 286. If anything else falls on my lap, woohoo. You guys already know my Saturday night is booked next this week coming up because the Tar Heels are playing Duke. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. In the Final Four. Whoo, I'm going to be a nervous wreck. Send me letters of love, please, this week, because I'm going to be just a nervous fella. Anywho, episode 285, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for rating and review. I would absolutely adore one. And by the way, if you guys, I can't remember if I said this in the beginning or not, but The Realm of Take-Two is out right now. Did I mention The Realm? Holy crap. Oh, forgive me, Roy, if I forgot to mention that earlier on. In your feeds right now, The Realm of Take-Two. It's out there now, baby. You can go listen to that boy as well. Download that app and give Roy a little bit of a listen. Your monthly Realm just dropped over the weekend. Now I feel like I should go back and re-record the entire show. Nah, we're good with what we got. Roy, I apologize if I forgot to say that earlier, but The Realm is there. Roy does an amazing job. Excuse me, I gotta go. It's time. Episode 285. Hey, Take-Two Podcast. Have a great night, everybody.